Jana Vallabha Girbardhari Yashodanandana Prajajanandana Yashodanandana Prajajanandana Yashodanandana Prajajanarandana Yamuna Tira Manachari Yamuna Tira Manachari Oh Jaya Arata Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Oh Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Shri Sri Radha Madhava Ki Jai Hare Krishna. We'll ask everyone if they could just take a minute. We'll take 3 minutes to chant on our beads. If you have meditational beads called Japa Mala, if you don't, then just chant audibly. I think we have the Maha Mantra written somewhere, if I'm not mistaken, maybe the last place. Is anybody not knowing the Maha Mantra? Okay, it is back there on that picture graph, whatever you want to call it there. The guys with the arms out like this, Chaitanya Nityananda Panchatattva. We have the Maha Mantra, combination of 3 words. It's meant to calm us down because our passions are high. Am I right about that?
Yes.
Okay. Stress levels are up? Yes. Have been, are now, will be, but maybe less so if we chant this mantra. Okay, so please repeat after me. Just sit with your back, neck, and head erect in a straight line. Okay, and if you need to turn your head to look at the board there, just do an owl thing. Hare,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare,
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare,
Hare
Rama,
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 Hare,
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
We could do this with our eyes closed. So we'll do this in unison, or your eyes open. I'll leave it up to you. Okay? Say it together and go for 3 minutes. 1, 2, 3, go. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, little louder, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare. One last one. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. Haribo. Okay. Take a little drink here. How's everyone doing? Oh, we got an overwhelming response from that one. How's everyone doing? Okay. If you're doing okay, give me one of these. Is everyone doing okay? Is anyone not doing okay? Do this. All right. So we want to congratulate you on pulling off a very nice Rath Yatra, which unfortunately I wasn't able to attend, but I heard good things about it. And it's a lot of work that goes behind the project. Many volunteers are there. People are involved in the rental aspect of things, as well as the kitchen, as well as the permits and the payments that are to be made. And it's a lot of hard work and the sweat and the returning everything is everything like it's a recycling program every year. We bring in, we take out, and thank you very much. Let's give yourselves a hand. Okay, so what I've been doing is, since the Montreal Rath Yatra, I've been on a little mini Festival of India program. Montreal, London, Ontario, Scarborough, Toronto 2 days, Sudbury, Sault Ste. Marie, Terrace Bay, Thunder Bay 2 days, Fort Frances, Winnipeg, Manitoba, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and yesterday also in Edmonton. And we're kind of wrapping it up now, okay, even though I don't have a team with me. But it's been very successful. It's nice to see the response from people who know very little bit about our culture. To take an example, Fort Frances, the mayor was very excited to have us there and expressed it before and after. And places like Terrace Bay, population 1,700, and 200 people came out and paid $30 tickets to see our show, including some prashadam. And it's very nice. And this, all that people know is hockey, in some of these towns, and they don't have much exposure. but they have to their advantage a lot of nature around them. So I was playing the role of the MC. I also directed a play, Gita Concise, that we took around. And we had Rajasthani dances, Odissi dances, Bharatanatyam dances. We had drumming demos. We did instrumental, also display, and kirtan, such as Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We used guitars. We used sitars. From guitars to sitars, okay? And it was East-West fusion. And in the end, we finished a song with... it was George Harrison's My Sweet Lord. Hallelujah. Okay. It was very nice. So I played the MC. While during the sessions, between breaks or items, there's a little break-up period. So the role of the MC is master of ceremonies, or I should say servant of ceremonies, is to keep everybody occupied. So usually before the drama, which is really all about Krishna's words, divine words to his dear devotee Arjuna, we relayed this story. We took it from the book Spirit Soul magazine that just came out recently. Okay? And I'll read it to you, and we'll discuss it a little bit. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. The Mahabharata is a 5,000-year-old epic, longer than the Iliad and the Odyssey combined. No, that's okay, bro. It contains stories of bravery, adventure, intrigue, human suffering, and it holds tremendous knowledge. The following is a particularly interesting conversation with a profound lesson. And here's the title. What is the most astonishing thing in this world? Some of you know the story. There once was a treacherous being guarding a lake that contained the only water for hundreds of miles. And King Yudhishthira was thirsty. This being was preventing him from drinking. First, the king was told he had to answer some questions, and then the water would be his to drink. King Yudhishthira stood quietly. He did not drink. Ask your questions, and I will answer, he said. So the treacherous being, known as a yaksha, started with the questions. Here's the first one. Tell me, what is quicker than the wind? And the answer is the mind. And tell me, what is more numerous than the blades of grass in the fields? And the answer is the thoughts that spring from the mind. What is it that, when lost, causes no regret? Answer. Anger. Who appears to be alive, but is among the walking dead? Answer. A miser. Everybody knows what a miser is? A miser is somebody who likes to hoard everything. He gains a lot, but he doesn't want to share it. Like at Christmas time, everybody loves to hear the story of A Christmas Carol. Ebenezer Scrooge. You know Scrooge? Yeah? He just was making all this money, and he had this poor assistant, and he paid him very little, made him work overtime, and he was just a grumpy old man, Ebenezer Scrooge. So nobody likes a Scrooge or a miser. Okay, and what is heavier than the mountains? And the answer is the love of one's mother, the words of one's father. Tell me, what is a friend? And the answer is a peaceful, mind. And another companion, wisdom. And how is wisdom acquired? Answer, by serving the wise. For instance, Tadvidi Pranipatina from chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita. Tadvidi Pranipatina Pariprashnena Sevaya Upadikshanti Te Jnanam Jnaninas Tattvadarshina. And that means if you want to know the truth, you hang around with a wise person. And while you're there, do some seva, some service. And then you will learn so much more. Not just from hearing, but by doing some service. Okay. What must we renounce to make us truly wealthy? So, what do you have to give up to become a wealthy person? How many people here want to be wealthy? Come on, honest. Of course, we have to define what wealth is. People say health is wealth, and there's so much truth to that. And, being wealthy or healthy on the physical level, psychological level, and on all levels, that is real wealth. Even if you don't have a lot in the bank account. It doesn't matter. It's if you have a good mind, good body, strong body, and so on, you can push through anything. You can acquire what you need and what you deserve. Okay. So what must we renounce to make us truly wealthy? That's the question. Answer. What you have to give up is desires for riches, fame, and adoration. If you're meant to be well situated, well established, it'll come. It's karmically yours. And if it's not meant to be, then it is not meant to be, even though you may work towards the effort. Remember, you're not in control. Someone else is in control. Reminders must be there. Okay? So in order to get rich, you have to not have a desire to be rich. And do not care for this fame. And do not care for this adoration. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one of our leading saints, avatars, Krishna himself, states that I am not interested in followers. I'm not interested in finance in a big way. I'm not interested in, the opposite gender. I'm not interested in lovers, basically, he's saying. I'm interested in devotion. So that's where we want to be at. Is anybody thinking they could reach the status of this mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Are we there now? Not now, but we may want to be there, okay? We may strive to get there. Said, I don't really want this, and I don't want, when you get older and wiser, you said, nah. People make offers, no. Well, I'm a sannyasi, and I'm 66, and wherever I go, people give me lots of food. So, no. And then they give more, no. And you have to put your plate on put your head and your whole torso on the plate. No! And somebody's, no! Sometimes you have to be very insistent. Okay, not interested. Okay. We all know that the tongue always says yes, but the intelligence will say no. Right, okay. Tell me, what is wealth? Because we are talking about what is the definition of wealth anyways. Here's the answer. To look equally upon happiness and distress, on pebbles and a piece of gold. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks from chapter 6 on this. Verse 8, he speaks about the mind of a true yogi, the mind of one who's mastered renunciation from this world, and one who's actually happy, a happy person. Mind is under control. That would indicate someone's happy. Mind is under control. It indicates that one is a true yogi. And to be indifferent to stones and gold, they are the same. Or oil, just to make things relevant. You wonderful Albertans. Okay? It's all really the same. It is. It all gets sort of conglomerated together at the end when Vishnu draws it all in. You know, Vishnu's lying in his causal ocean and he just pulls it all in. All the oil. I wouldn't want to see it happen. All the oil is flowing, all the water is flowing, everything that makes up this universe and the 24 elements. He takes it all in. He absorbs it, through the pores. And then it sits there as a Mahatattva, as a conglomerate of elements. And then at a certain mature time, at the exhalation, then everything is invoked again. Okay? So gold, pebbles, I've never had gold in my hands. Has anybody ever? Diamonds. The most valuable thing I've ever had is a samosa with some tamarind sauce on it. That's, to me, the most valuable thing. All right. But we are to see ultimately that everything is really of the same value. So we do place superficially value on certain items over others. Somebody out there decides, okay, I understand diamonds are not a big thing, but somebody made a hype for it, and so diamonds are forever. That's James Bond. I never saw it, and I'm not interested. Tell me, what is the greatest possession? And the answer is knowledge. So we have in chapter 4 from Bhagavad Gita, knowledge of the Absolute. If you can master knowledge of the Absolute, if you can get that under your belt, under your buckle, and apply it, assimilate it, then you are a hero. You are a success story. So knowledge is knowledge of what? What do we really need to know? What are the basic fundamentals of knowledge? Aham Brahmasmi. Does anybody know what that means? I am Brahman. I am not this body. I'm a spirit soul. Know your identity. Otherwise, there's identity crisis. Many people speak about identity crisis these days. They're not sure who they are, and as our Hindu friends do, what to do. What to do. This we've heard many times, okay? Especially when you're preparing for Rath Yatra and someone doesn't know what to do, then you hear that mantra very much. What to do? Okay. So what is our prime duty in life? Our prime duty in life is to seek the welfare of all beings. We want to see that as much in our heart, we want to see that people are taken care of. It's not just service to the Supreme, it's service to living entities. I'm going to go to chapter 17 from Bhagavad Gita, and I'm going to look at text number 16. And there's a reason for it. Okay. Connected to what we're talking about. The welfare of all living beings. Srila Prabhupada explains, to make the mind austere is to detach it from sense gratification. Because the verse actually speaks about mind control, controlling your mind. It should be trained that it can be always thinking of doing good for others. Okay? If you have your mind set on helping other people, that puts you in a selfless position. As soon as you're selfish, then you're very removed from making spiritual progress. So think more for others. Think more for the welfare of others. And then you're closer to saintliness. Okay. The mind should be trained that it can always be thinking of doing good for others. The best training for the mind is gravity in thought. One should not deviate from Krishna consciousness and must always avoid sense gratification. All right. To purify one's nature is to become Krishna conscious and so on. So I make that reference here to do good for others. It is a Krishna conscious trait. It's not just about me making spiritual advancement. No, it's not about, I'm doing my rounds. I can't do any seva because I'm doing my japa. Have you ever heard that one before?
Yes.
I heard it a few times. What? Can't. Okay. What is the best kind of happiness? Can anybody has the answer? What's the best? An ice cream cone? What do you guys, what do you think what's the best kind of happiness? What? Chocolate? Sure, that's a fair answer. Let's hear it. I'm glad that we got some answers. What is the best kind of happiness? Chanting Krishna's name. Best kind of happiness. I think that's a good answer. It's an answer. Yeah. Yes. Knowledge of the self, that's a good answer, but it's not what the Yaksha actually had to say. There are different kinds of happiness. Different kinds of happiness for the body, happiness for the psyche, happiness for the mind, etc. What's that? Okay, the answer is the best kind of happiness is happiness from within. Is that okay? You don't mind? It's got to be inward. It can't be so external. It must be internal. Happiness is an inward thing. Bhakti Siddhanta, Prabhupada's guru, he used to say, look within. Krishna also uses, when it's translated, enjoy within. The word is used quite a bit in the Gita. And finally, here's the last, let's say, deliberation. And finally, tell me this. What is the most astonishing thing in the world? And so, here we go. King Yudhishthira considered the question, becoming lost for a moment in its many possible answers. Finally, he said, death is lurking all around us. Our fathers and grandfathers grow old and die before our eyes. Indeed, all life is rushing into the mouth of death. Yet we behave as though we will live forever. What could be more astonishing than this? So then the king, he was allowed to drink. That's the end of the story. Many strong messages come from that and how true it is. When it was mentioned, I joined Krishna consciousness when I was 20 years old. And around me, we didn't have a big congregation. We just had a few single men and women. And we were all about the same age, average age 18 to 25, something like that. And we thought, we're going to take over the world. It'll take about 2 or 3 years. And we had that spunk. We had that youthful... Do you remember? Baladev, do you remember when you were young? I'm going to do amazing things. There's all this powerful energy, and we thought we were going to live forever. And you can't understand an older person. Now, I can understand what it means, after walking a few kilometers in a day, just trying to go up the stairs. And I have to put some mustard seed oil on my knees sometimes just to be relieved of the pain. But it's like that. And now I get it. Now I understand what those people were doing. what anguish they're going through, But when you are young, and even if you're young at heart, the body is not synchronized with your youthful mind. It is just not. It's not going to go there. It's not in the right alignment, or maybe it is. Just like if you've been on 16th Avenue. Have you ever had this before? And you're driving straight and suddenly it veers to the right. you ever had that before? Experience? Yeah. And it just means you need a wheel alignment. You have to get aligned. You have to do some repair, you know. And of course, what we do with our ailing and aging body, we try to go for some repair. But it will never be fully rejuvenated, unfortunately. To be youthful again means you must first die, and then you will be born again. And then you'll go through the whole experience once more. Now, how many times do we have to go through this before we learn our ultimate lesson? So, you know, you have to come to a point as, this is getting real boring, you know. When will I change? Or what do I have to change to stop this whirlpool of activities? What do I do with myself to change? So, this is where Krishna consciousness comes in. We must change our consciousness from a me consciousness to Krishna, for the big K, Krishna consciousness. We have to adjust, make adjustments to the sails. The gusts of wind will come, and you have to cooperate with the wind, you know. Here's another example about driving. I'm not a favorite in driving, but anyways, you have those sort of like icy winter days, you know, so everything's kind of slippery. And you know what it means if you go in one direction, the ice is forcing you to. Now, if you try to resist that, what happens? You could topple over, you know, everything. So it's better to kind of cooperate. It's better to roll with a punch, right? Sometimes we're putting dramas together, and we have a fighting scene, conflict, and maybe there's no swords left, no bows and arrows left. Then we're left, okay, just use your fist, okay? So some of the persons who are not so well trained, when you know the adversary comes with the punch against the face, the person doesn't know to go with the punch roll. No? Rather, he goes the other way. I've seen it happen. Now, if you do that, you're really in trouble. You just, you know, you have to go with what the body is telling you to do. And then you can pick yourself up, spring back into action, and move. So the whole idea about becoming Krishna conscious is to spring back into action and do the things that we're supposed to do. The most astonishing thing to do is to come to the proper realization that I am mortal. I will die. I will perish. Or at least the body will perish. And then I must simply go on and develop my Krishna consciousness, and perhaps I could end samsara, this wheel of birth and death. It may be possible. People place a lot of value on the wheel, the circle. Just like if we look over there, that wheel known as the clock, which was really taking a, let's just say the prototype is the archetype is the sundial itself. And we really appreciate that I can watch my time here. That fan, which probably should be on, but is not on, is really appreciated on a hot day. You know, it has its purpose. It has a definition. It has a utility. You know, and I remember when I was walking across America a couple of summers ago through the desert, and we crossed the trail where the Mormons went, and we were we're stopping in some museums and looking at what the kind of lifestyle that people had to go. If they didn't have wheels, chuck wagons, you know, it would be very difficult for them to start a civilization in Utah, you know, or those other Western places, you know, without the wheel. And what do you think it would be like? Can you imagine Vishnu without a wheel? Can you imagine Shiva without a wheel? So these wheels represent time, and they also express like a utility. We're able to move on. But there comes a point in time when we don't need the wheel anymore. We just honor the wheel of Vishnu, and we forget about the wheel of birth and death. There are circles all around us, and they're beautiful. Like I look at the head of the drum, and it's very beautiful. I look at this cup, which I'm going to drink right now. I won't drink the cup, but the contents of the cup. And I appreciate the circular nature of it. Can we appreciate the circular nature of life itself, birth and death? Well, the beauty of our philosophy is that we don't always learn the lessons of life in one shot. It may have to happen again for us. It's okay, really, it's all right. Yeah, if you don't mind. And therefore, the samsara is an expression of compassion by the Supreme Designer. That, okay, you didn't make the grade, you didn't learn this time around, I'll give you another chance. Oh, you just still, okay, we'll give you another chance. I'll get another chance, another one, another one bites the dust. So in this way, we're given so many opportunities to make good, to improve, to do better. And that's what Krishna consciousness is all about. It's to make improvements in our life. And there is lots of room for improvement. There's lots of space. I can see that when yesterday I flew from Saskatoon to Edmonton. I said, my God, look at the space. And Prabhupada made a big deal about it in the late 60s. When he was writing in the 60s, for the Back to God magazine in the 40s, he was talking about a population explosion. And I remember when I was a high school student, this was a big concern in the world about the population is just growing. It's expanding like anything. Too many babies. And what are we going to do? Who's going to feed all of these people? Where are we going to get the water from? And where will be the space? How will we live? But boy, when you come out here in the prairies and you drive on, and even between Edmonton and Calgary, come on, what are you talking about? There's so much space, There's a great misuse of space. So there's a room, there is space for much improvement, and we must come to that very strong admission that I need to do better. And I feel a little bit guilty about not doing up to the mark as to where I should be, right? You have to feel a little bit guilty. And if you don't have guilt, you won't make any change, right? If you don't feel, you have to feel a little bit unworthiness in a sense. And if it is not there, it will be hard to progress. So we must progress. And progression is not on the physical level because ultimately, inevitably, physically, everything will fall apart. That sounds very grim. So the question is, what will progress? What can progress? What can advance? And that is your level of consciousness. So that's what we have to work at, isn't it? So we recommend people to read the Shastras. I know I'm in the middle of reading a wonderful book called Chasing the Rhinos by Shyamasunder. So I'm not reading a chapter of Bhagavad Gita every day, but I should be reading a chapter every day. When I finish that other book, I'll get right back to it. Have I read it already? Yes, I have read it. How many times have some of us read it? 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Do you think that you know everything? No. So therefore you have to go back and then you'll discover, oh my God, I read this a zillion times and I'm still exploring something new, something fresh is to be gained from this, right? So this kind of activity, I guess everybody can slide forward a little bit more. Okay. Maybe there is a problem with overpopulation. Atmarama Prabhu? A problem with overpopulation, at least in the Hare Krishna temples. People have conveniently come just a little before the prasadam, so that's when it gets overpopulated. And after the prasadam is over, then it gets underpopulated. That's kind of the way it works. But certainly room for improvement should be on the agenda. Spiritual improvement, and don't forget it. It's something that in our secular world, consumer world, where many people profess there is no God, there's nothing in control out there. It's just there. It's just nature, and take it for what it is. So it's with that kind of justification for not probing in deeper into life, we can see, where many people are at in terms of their, let's say, lack of action in this spiritual department. So we are in what's called Kali Yuga, folks, and it's an age of, let's say, a time of darkness, when you're not encouraged to go deep within. You just basically live and try to be a nice person. And that's kind of like this. And in some cases, don't try to be a nice person at all. You haven't learned love, you haven't known love, you haven't been trained, so let me get some attention, let me blow off a few people's heads, let me kill. This is the mentality of some folks. They haven't felt loved, and so they're looking desperately for it. That's a call for love when people, with these young teenagers, start killing people. It's just their call for love, that's all. In our society, it's just not there. It's a lacking. There's a deficiency in that department. So therefore, there's a need to up it, a need to show love, demonstrate love, and to give it, and like anything. So we want to thank you for listening for today's lessons on what is the most astonishing thing in this world. And now I will ask for what are the most astonishing questions that you may have for me that I may try to give an answer to. Okay? Yes, we have someone in the back who is asking the most astonishing question.
It just came to mind, but Marga, thank you for your lecture, but why is Maya so strong?
Maya is so strong because Maya comes from Krishna, and Krishna represents strength. It's one of his opulences. So whatever is an emission of Krishna, whatever is, let's say, being drawn out of Krishna, must show power and strength. So that's why Maya is there. And of course, maybe you're coming from another angle to your reason for asking that question, is that Maya is strong, but Prabhupada said, he denied that. He said, Maya isn't so strong. It's your determination is weak. Would you admit to that? So that's one way to look at it. And, the test of love is oftentimes demonstrated by putting up some tough challenges. So the challenges are difficult sometimes. Yeah. But we have to appreciate that there's a lot of force there. Daivi shagunamayi mamamaya duratyaya. Mam evi prapadyante mayang etang darandite. Krishna is more powerful than Maya. Maya is an offshoot of Krishna. It's an energy flow. But Krishna is more powerful. And if you simply demonstrate a sincerity of purpose in wanting to please him, then he'll ask Maya to back off. Maya's like a mad dog. Just to say, hey, like I think I told you once I was walking through Pennsylvania, and this was what do you call it? What are some of the bad dogs that we have? It wasn't a Rottweiler, it was the other one. Pit bull. There was a pit bull that was coming after me. He saw me coming, and this was in, Pennsylvania, in the sort of like hill country. People are kind of wailing in the hills. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. But they still have their teeth. Okay. And so this pit bull sort of burst through the front porch and came out. It was a young female. And unfortunately, the owner was behind the dog. Otherwise, I'm not sure. My dhoti would have definitely been torn up and might be some blood. But fortunately, the owner was there. And the name of the dog was Maya. Maya! Maya! Stop that! Maya! So then Maya would retreat a little bit and then come back, lunge forward. And then the master, get back, Maya, get back, get back. He was really stern about it. And while he was doing that, I tried to stay cool, calm, and collected. And I said, sir, do you know what Maya means? No, I don't. Maya, what does it mean? It says, Maya in Sanskrit means illusion. And you know what he said? Well, she's an illusion, all right. Maya, get back! So, again, if Krishna will be there to tame Maya, you just have to continue on with your actions of devotion, humble offerings of devotion. Maya will become less of an issue. But we can appreciate Maya. We can say, Maya, wow, you are so powerful. I'm ready to offer puja to you, practically. But we have to understand what's behind Maya. It's Krishna himself. And he's the master. He'll help you. Thank you. That was an astonishing question, by the way. Astonishing answer? I'm not sure. But anyways, let's hear it for the astonishing question. Anybody else? Yes.
How to genuinely hear holy name? It's a big challenge.
Yes, good question. It's totally astonishing. Common question, classic. How to hear the holy name properly. Okay, I'm working on it myself personally, and it's a tough chore, and oftentimes I don't score. But it's a bit of a fight. It's a psychological warfare that you have with your mind. And we recommend to do it in the morning. Have a good fight. And even if you didn't totally win, you can say, it was still a good fight. I did the best I could. So it's an opportunity to take up your Kshatriya spirit, your warrior-like spirit, and fight the illusions of the world. Fight the demons, the thoughts that weaken you. The kama, the krodha, the lobh, the lust, the anger, the greed. So when we hear the holy name, really, we're trying to concentrate on that sound, and yet all these other elements wedge their way in. And we're just constantly trying to bulldoze through, isn't it? I want to hear Krishna's name. And like Christ was in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights, as the story goes, and Satan came before him. And he said with determination, Satan, get ye behind me. I don't want to see your face. Get behind me. So you have to take a firm stand in this area. I'm going to keep fighting it. I'm not going to lose the battle. I'm staying in the ring. And Maya will be down, we'll count to 10, and she'll be out. Okay? By the way, rounds, Hare Krishna, various rounds in the boxing ring. So definitely everybody, every man, woman, who's serious about, making spiritual progress must think a little bit like a boxer. You have to just keep pushing forward, And the mood, the spirit, can be somewhat found in the Shikshastakam. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's written word about what should be our mindset when we are chanting. Srila Prabhupada also gives us a hint that think a little bit like a child, a baby, that's crying for his parent. It can be in a crying mood. Help me, please. So it's the temperament that's important. It's the mood. And it is a battle. How many people are struggling with chanting? How many people are just flying through, soaring like, like an eagle in the sky? Fly like an eagle. Anybody doing that? Okay, so you see, you're not alone. But you got an army now. Let's say if you were all alone, it says, oh my God, I'm going to vanquish. So no, because you've got an army. They're all thinking this, and because there's a force there. Everybody fighting together. Very nice. We have to be thinking like that. You have to think like a warrior. We want to fight poverty. We want to fight alcoholism. All the social disruptions that are in society. We're not happy about it. What can we do? Well, up your Krishna consciousness, perhaps help out in some way. Food for life. There's many different ways that we can help the world be a better place. But it's hard to make a change solo. So therefore, everybody, in a solo way, we must chant our japa, but we can encourage each other. I know there's japa groups. They get on the phone and they talk about how they can, they build up a camaraderie with the chanting of the holy name, Krishna's name. Does that help out?
Yes.
Most astonishing question. Let's hear it. Woo! Do we have time for any more astonishing questions? Yes, we do. One more. Yes, over here.
In today's world, I feel or see that people who are humble are considered weak by many people, and relationships become so difficult.
Right. So should we be humble or should we be bold?
Humble is what?
If you want to start a good business, you want to start a good business where you can make a big profit, you have to approach it quite humbly. You have to learn from the masters who've learned, right? So you take a humble position. And you must maintain that humility, of sincerity and then integrity. And then, you will thrive. But Prabhupada said one thing. He said that when you're in the workplace, you have to be a little bit bold, isn't it? You have to be a little aggressive. When you're at home, you can be gentle. You can be a lion on the chase, but a lamb at home. Right? If it's obvious, in the world of aggression, we have to display some aggression in order to move it. Otherwise, people will trample all over you, which is what you're talking about. So we have to be a little bit firm on issues, on policies, and then we will thrive. But there comes a time when you also have to shut down, slow down, and be gentle, especially with your life partner, your spouse, your family members, and so on, and stop being such a jerk.
No two people are same, and there's a conflict on this.
Yes, the beauty of having a person who gets under your skin is that you learn humility. The disaster of being with someone who's always praising you is that person blows up your ego. So it's good to have a bit of this, and it's good to have a bit of that. Right? So I've got this garland on, and what are the colors here? Yellow and white and purple or violet. Yeah. My art teacher said, don't call it purple. He's from Wales. So anyways, you have to violet. Okay. So anyways, is that nice garland? Does it look okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's different colors. So the world is just so dynamic and so full of spice when there's different colorful people in it. And if everyone was the same, if we were all robots, we all do the same thing. We don't have any emotions and just like flat mouth with two little holes for our eyes. And we just eat prasad and we don't get excited about it, we just eat. What kind of a world would that be? So Krishna has provided diversity for us. Okay, so I wouldn't knock the people that are giving you a bit of a hard time. No, they're there to help in some way. So we do have to show some perseverance. Otherwise, where is our saintliness?
And in addition to that, the people who are really humble or doing right things according to Krishna consciousness are sometimes, because they are so less, bigger community of people might find that they are fake. They are faking something. They cannot be so nice. And that can
I'm just putting some music to your question. Just a second. Let this go. Okay, so your point is that the minority are humble, right? And the majority are a little bit aggressive. And what should we do about that? Or the majority are ignorant.
She was saying they doubt the.
They doubt the integrity of the smaller group. Oh, well, prove them wrong. Just by showing your own integrity, by your behavior, people will be won over. They'll say, oh, these are genuine folks. They hold to their promises. They make their payments. They work hard. They take care of their families. Their kids are well educated, and so on and so forth. They're polite. They're friendly, helpful. You know, they'll shovel the snow for you. They'll cut the lawn. They'll help your grandmother get across the street. Now, these are all acts of humility and acts of service. How can anybody think wrong of them? Jai. Shri Radha Madhava ki. Hare Krishna. Is that okay? That was a very astonishing question. Let's hear it for all the astonishing questions. Good. And so that's it for now, I guess, right? Are there some announcements to be made, or what's the next part of the program? Atmaram, the self-satisfied soul. What's the meaning of Atmaram?
We have one more question.
One more question? Okay, sure. It's up to you, Prabhu, really. The question is,
Where is Goloka and how can we reach there?
where is Goloka and how can we reach there? This is a very astonishing question. One thing is, Goloka is far away, but through service we can get there. That's the ticket. You know, when you want to go somewhere, you want to go to India or you want to go to Cuba or this place, that place, you have to get some funds together. So the funds to go to Goloka are simply enthusiasm, a willingness to go there, and with the right attitude, the spirit of devotion, one can purchase the ticket to go there. Goloka is the place where there's Krishna, who is the original cowherd person, cowboy, you can say. And cows are there. Loka means place. Go means cow. Cow and bull. And so we do that through service. Service bhakti. Bhaktyamam avijanani yavas chatmi taputaha. From 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks about how to get to Goloka, how to get to him. And it's through bhakti, through devotion. There's no other way.
Through devotion we can reach there?
Yes. Yes. There's no other way, no other way, no other way. Kalo nasteva, 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 gatiranyata.
But not in this life form.
Yes, in this life you can be in Goloka. In your mind, we can, while living in the physical body, you can become a liberated soul. And that is also achieved through devotion. So if your mind is peaceful, it's calm, it always has pleasant thoughts, it's thoughts about the Lord, Krishna, the Supreme, pleasing Him, then indeed you are in Goloka. You are there. Are you there?
That's what you say that.
We'll get there. Okay.
सर आप हिंदी में भी कुछ कभी कभी बता सकते हैं आप हिंदी बोलते हैं
No, he doesn't have Hindi.
But you can answer.
Do you speak Hindi sir
He just wanted to know.
No, monsieur.
understand.
No, monsieur. Sorry. Okay, so thank you very much for the astonishing questions. Let's hear once again.